I found a little buddy.
Sunday morning, take 2. Bam Bam posing for you. Little wispy clouds. Little pink showing to the west. The reflection is why I stopped here. And oh, he's gone now. Wally was over here just a couple minutes ago. Now he's God knows where. Probably ran up to the barn, thinks I'm going to feed him. So I gotta run up and see how close that one really is. It looks like it's going to be where we might move it this morning instead of this afternoon. But I'm going to get this one going first. I'm going to run it out this way. Easy move. All I got to do is pivot the thing and drag it over here and disrupt her. That should be 241. Disrupt a little heifer there, and whoever else is in the way. There's a little bit better shot of the sunrise. I'll figure out what time of day it is, don't worry. Get the camera tipped right so it shows better. Right between those trees, it looks way better than it's showing, but oh well, there you go. That's not where I left that. I left it over here. Hose came like this and was about where that pile of shit is. I don't know why we're having trouble this year with it moving. I guess I gotta hook onto it, pull it back over here and dig the damn thing in. Need a better shovel for that. But yeah, there's where we started. I'm glad I looked out and saw that. That'd be bad. It's naked. That's okay. Now I can get in and weld everything. Seriously thinking about cutting a piece to fill in here. You know, make it a little stronger. Clean it up a little maybe. I don't know. Thought about it for there too, but it's like, Probably will weld what I can here though. Just get it tied in better. Yeah, I must be here. She's a little slow this morning. Oh, they quit barking. Maybe she's not. Neighbor's dog's probably outside teasing them. Yeah, she is late this morning. But, you know, we were up at Becky's dad's pretty late last night, so it was good to be up there. We were busy killing bees on his forge. That's always fun. He's got a bunch of fly swatters that are taped to arrows so they reach. Have sword fights, right? One's all done, other than hit it with a wire brush and throw some paint on it, put it back together. Ankle balls in there, they'll scrape off. So, piece of 3/8 on there on an angle. There's about a 3/16 gap in between this edge. The other edge is tight. That I put in just to make sure it didn't shrink in when I was welding. Being this is 4-inch and we only need 3 inches for the case hitch to hook up. That's an inch up into here and down into there, and helps hold them together, even though the place it really needs isn't there. But there it is. I got a dingle ball on the backside. There we go. Get wiped off. So now for the other one. Make it kind of match the one I got. Oh, and now that this one's all done, kind of wish I would have held off on trimming the little piece that was on here, because when it comes up, it actually pulls too far, and then that wants to, but that's something we'll have to keep in mind. So now for the other pain in the ass. At least I know what I'm doing now, I think. Hey, guess what? Talking last night about it had been so nice I hadn't got stung, and I guess I got stung on the back of my other hand. Got stung, and we brought her in. Hi, sweetheart. Tylen wanted to check her hoof.
She's got good girl back.
Another freaking bee trying to get me.
Got a video too that you guys.
Oh, got a video. You get I mean, she's been walking all right on it. I've been looking at her every day. And Becky got me a little Band-Aid to hold that on. By the way, that's a pouch of chew. Tobacco works wonders for bee stings. It already feels much better. And a bigger Band-Aid on it though would help.
Penelope. Penelope. Blue. Hi, Penelope. Hi, pretty girl. Where's Penelope's butt? It actually looks really good. I just want to double check it to make sure, but it's actually starting to grow back on it too. So it looks really good. Now I get to let the poor baby go.
Well, there they are. That would be Rust-Oleum charcoal gray. Why? Because that's the paint I got. I might repaint the handles too, just because I already knocked some paint off of them. Make it all match. Who knows? We'll see. I think they're as perfect a mirror image as they can be. It's kind of hard to measure a lot of stuff to get them equal, but measured it as best I could. And they both fit on this. Oh, they both better fit on the other half. And yeah, I missed a little there. That's just the first coat. I'm going to give it another coat anyway. Why? Because I can. And it's probably just about dry enough to give it another coat. I think I'll grab a rod and slip in that little hole there and pull it up so I can actually get the top end done. But this was the easiest way to hang it. And that old chunk of rod, that's a bearing and a bunch of shit on the end of it. That was for off the big traveler. When the hose comes off, it runs over a roller. And that was the factory setup, and it was shot when we got it. It's got way better bearings, way bigger bearings in it now than that little crap. So it should last forever. And this, well, it's a good piece of rod. Probably metric, but somewhere in the neighborhood of 1/2 inch. So I don't know, maybe it's 12 millimeter. I've never measured it, but that's what I had that would work, so that's what I used. I haven't tried slipping it on the loader yet. Hopefully my holes are close enough. If not, well, then I got a little hole work to do. I'll run a reamer through them anyway. The paint inside those holes will get wore off in no time to begin with. So, but in the meantime, that's how far I am, and it's lunchtime, and it's already over 80 degrees. Freaking weather guessers told us we were going to be down in the 70s until yesterday. They changed their mind, and now this whole week is like 85 to 90, 95, something like that. So, go figure. Really see the difference, and that's just yesterday's watering versus where we moved to today. The lower you go, the greener it gets. Not so green over here. Figured by the time I had lunch, well, moved the traveler first and then had lunch, that might be dry enough to handle. Maybe I should have turned the fan back on sooner. It's humid enough today that it is still very tacky. I don't know if it'll doesn't quite leave a fingerprint, but leaves a mark. So, and these things, a little bit of paint that I knocked off there. The only black I have is high temp stove paint. So, obviously it's not shiny. But I just painted those. That shit dries so fast that these are dry and ready to go together, yet those are still wet. Well, too wet. If I start messing with them now, they're just going to be a mess. But what I did do, these pins were like a 1/4 inch longer. And the way they were, the pin was in from the back side, so if you ever had to take the pin out, you had to take everything apart to get it out. So I shortened them and drilled new holes. And I was wondering on these cotter keys, they're kind of stiff and they're a little different shine to them. Yeah, they're stainless. Believe it or not, stainless cotter keys. But anyway, now when that's in place there, it can be that way, and if you have to, you can turn the pin and get the cotter key out in the little gap to pull the pin. That's my idea anyway. Good, bad, or indifferent, I don't know. But I was really hoping to throw these together and put it on and make the hoses so they'll work. Do a couple other things. Instead, yeah, I'm not. Hydraulic cylinder. Good thing we didn't just go use this sucker to begin with either. Because the lock pin, top and bottom, I didn't realize they were there. That would have been a bad thing. I got to looking at grease zerks, and well, you can see that it's almost made more to be a needle zerk. But look how tall it isn't. And that's not a metric thread that we have in grease zerks. We have, that's all metric, that's all standard. But I want you to, come here. Well, it won't stand up because quality. Try to do this one-handed. Maybe I'm not even going to fit in there either. Dang it. Alright. Switch the way I'm doing it. Put it in my hand. There. A good 1/8 pipe grease zerk that you can actually get a coupler to go onto versus what they put on the cylinder. And then the cylinder has these nice ball type setups. The outer race has a hole for the grease to go in. It's got a groove around the outside too. So if you don't get the hole lined up, that's fine, but it's lined up on this one. Drilled this out, that's 1/8 pipe. And hole lines up with that, so that gets grease in there, and you know, it's all hunky-dory. This one actually came out easy. The other one, we had to beat the shit out of it to get it out. Then I got it out. There was no grease hole in it. There is now. All I can say is, well, thank God the old man brought a lot of broken tools home when he was a machinist. I shattered one carbide bit. The only thing I had left, it was about 1 inch of the shank. I have no idea where the rest went. Little tiny pieces. I started out, because you always cross your fingers on anything hard. Start out with a good high-speed bit and try to keep, if you can keep them cutting and keep them oiled good. High speed a lot of times will go through hard stuff. It made a good divot. It cut until the cutters were all cutting. No, the whole width of the cutter was cutting, and that's when it quit. Then I shattered the carbide one, and I went through the wonder drawer. I mean, I was even thinking, well, hell, take a burr, except this one, you gotta have a hole to get it started in. There we go. That little bugger right there, believe it or not, it went through it almost like melted butter, just not quite. So now I gotta make sure there's not a burr on the inside, clean it up, put it back in, then we put the cylinder back in. And Ty was looking at the other zerks, and they weren't any good either. I think she got them changed out. They were the metric that we actually have, or no, a couple of them she said were standard. I don't know. Anyway, she was doing that, I was doing this. So now to put it back. The fun you have when you get to working on something. Okay, I already showed you we put new zerks in, and yeah, she did change the two on the pivot. We did these, and then they got 1.5 inches here, and that's 7/8. So there's a eccentric bearing lock collar in there. It's turned this way so it comes against the wrong spot in my opinion, but that's the only way it would fit in. So that'll keep that from rattling around much. I got the line straightened out. The back one is tight because I figured I can't get to it once it's there. This one may not be all tight yet. One. And the little loop that was bolted here, let's put a nylock on. You only put nylock on one way, right? So we put it on with the nylock to this side. Then we put it in, put a nylock in. What's that do? You'll never tighten it because you got to crush the nylock section of this nut. So she found a regular nut, put this back in, see how long it holds up. It'll probably end up getting probably come up here and weld a loop on it to hold them. We will see, but for now, we'll get the hoses pointed the right direction. And in the end, you know, for $900 for something that you can buy all day for 3, 4, 5, 6 times that. Oh, here we had our metric wrench.
It was like, where did it go?
She's gonna make me do all the work. See, told you. So anyway, this is what we're doing here. I'm not real sure how well it's going to work out. I think the threads are starting to strip, so that's where I'm going to stop. Those need to run back through. And I really do hope that those really are Pioneer compatible couplers. And I still really have my doubts if this one's going to be long enough. I mean, it'll hook up, but if I tilt, I think it's over with. This one, on the other hand, but you know, you can't swap them and do any good because this one comes from the far end. It is plenty long. Like, it's a good foot longer to the end. Maybe more than that. So anyway, there you go. For all practical purposes, I'm done. Need to run a reamer through the pinholes on those. But I ain't touching them till morning. They'll be dry enough then I can handle them. And then hook it up. Magic. Hook them up and make sure it works. Oh yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you all had a great Sunday. And Red says, I hope everybody has a great Monday too.